I wanted to do a work tools video with you, and what we wanted to share now, and I asked Olivier to share very openly, decisions you have to make if you bring new tools to the company, like collaboration tools, new way of work, learnings you made, mistakes. I would suggest we go over there.
Awesome.
Okay, so tell us the setup that you have, that you work with, and where did you come from?
At Enigma, we always decided we need to be at the top of our game in everything we do. When everyone was on Microsoft, we talk about 8 years ago, we used Pages, Numbers, and Keynotes. And Keynotes is something that I used to love, that I still like a lot. Because at the start, Keynote was something that didn't change the file you put in. You put a file into it, and it stays a separate file. You put a new image, you put a JPEG, but you can put even an Illustrator logo. It stays an Illustrator logo. The thing is, we wanted collaboration to evolve, and we always keep our eyes wide open on new stuff.
We looked at the whole setup. So what you know, when I talk about tools, I'm usually saying there should be one core tool that you build everything else around and connect it. That's
well, it started because we have two offices, one in Bern, one in Geneva, and we wanted that to not be two teams. We wanted to have one team that worked together to leverage the collaboration. And so collaboration is in the heart of what we believe in, but it's a belief. For that, we tried Server. It was a huge mess. Then we tried Dropbox. It was less a mess, but it was still a mess. And so we tried Drive, and it was difficult. I have to say it wasn't an easy process, but then we loved it. And we had to learn a new way to approach collaboration.
Right.
And then we thought the only thing that is missing in terms of collaboration is presentations. Because that's a big part of our job in terms of campaign managers.
And in the beginning, sheets. I remember that.
Yeah.
So we set up the tool, and Drive was used in the very beginning just as a Dropbox replacement.
Exactly.
And I came back, I remember that you used Docs for text, which is very obvious to like collaborate on one text instead of sending emails back and forth. But many people then say, okay, why don't we compare Office 365 and Google? So there was also a reason why you say you don't want to do that.
We wanted something that was more lean, more easy, more simple. And we know the importance of moving from one place to another. You cannot be good at trumpet and piano at the same time. You have to choose what's going to be your thing. We knew that if we take Office 365, what will happen if we will have people continuing the old way to work with people using the new way of work. And for us, that was a no-go. If we want to be in the future, you have to use the future tool. You have to kill the old one. It's the same experience we had with email.
You basically said, okay, I don't want people to use the offline version of these tools in order to push them into the collaboration in the online way. Okay, got it. And
we even at the start forbid people to sync.
All right, yeah, which makes also sense from a data privacy perspective. Then you have nothing on the computer when it's a bring your own device, but that was probably not.
No, the reason why, because at the start everyone synced.
Right.
So everyone had collaborative tool working individually.
Let's compare two things for agencies. One is Sheets, which is important for making budgets, media planning, calculations, and so on. And then in the second step, comparing Slides, Keynote, and PowerPoint. And these two things, I would say, are very hands-on stuff that we could share that would be useful.
What I would say is, for the both, it's the same thing. When you evaluate a new tool, you must not evaluate it with the eyes of the old tool. That's the key. So when you start by evaluating a new tool, you must evaluate it for what it is and list every strength it will bring in the company. And that's it, basically. And then you can list the downside, but they goes with it. Usually the way people evaluate tools, they say, I know Excel. Can I do that in spreadsheet? Or I know PowerPoint. Can I do that in Slide? Or I know Keynote. Can I do that in Slide? If you're happy with your old product, keep your old product. And so spreadsheet vs Excel, we had the two evaluate, and we thought the best thing is spreadsheet today. So we moved to spreadsheet, but the question was, will our will our customer follow? Will
Yeah.
people we work for understand?
And the budget was a very large Excel file, quite
Yeah.
complicated, and I think thoughts were like, can we have that in sheets? And like, would it be confidential, and would the customer follow? Because I remember we had a talk and I said the big advantage is you just like add the link to the meeting every week, so you don't need to have a new version every week as an Excel file, and you decide which access you give to the client, right?
Yeah, and it works perfectly well because at the start the client were a bit skeptic, but we invest in training. So we meet them, said, this is a new year, we have a new tool. If really you cannot cope with it, we can export Excel, so don't be scared. We offer you 1 hour of training, we train them on it, and now they love it. Because they can log, they can say, can you see where I am? Yes, I can see where you are. We're at the same place. We're on the same document. They put the question. It's amazing. Our client wouldn't agree to go back. Even worse, our client doesn't want to work with people who have not that kind of tools today. And that's very good because now we have an unexpected win that is client retention.
But so far, it's a key point to understand that collaboration, in order to make it faster, happens online. And that's where also then slides came into discussion, because I remember that was the poorest of the tools in the suite. And Keynote is huge when it comes to agencies. But I would like to know the comparison between PowerPoint, also maybe the old and new, Keynote and Slides, and how you made your decision.
We analyze each of the tools individually. And PowerPoint, the big advantage, the biggest, is you can hire anyone, he knows how to use PowerPoint. You can send a PowerPoint to anyone, they will know how to use it, modify, ask. So that's a big advantage. It's a great advantage with clients because you send them a document, and if they want to do modification to present to someone else, they can do it, it's fine, it's easy. That's the good part. Then Keynote, amazing in terms of the way we manage design on it, and amazing in the animation. So animations are great.
Yeah.
Then Slide, the best tool for collaboration.
Because you are in the environment you already have. You have Google running, Trello, Slack, and all that stuff. You just share the link, and people directly collaborate on top, on the bottom.
Yeah, and work on it, and I'll tell you an experience about
collaboration.
That. So collaboration at the start, but then the downside was design limitation. First, animation are poorer, and in terms of design, you're not that precise in the way you align stuff.
True, yeah.
So, and the way you create templates, you cannot create templates with image. You have to create pages and say an image. You cannot create a template and say the image will always be here.
Yeah.
But that's detail. So we thought if we try to take our template from Keynote and put it in Slide, it will be frustration only.
Right.
And we had the luck to be at the moment where we decide Enigma will do rebranding. And what we did is we thought, well, let's create an awesome template for Slide.
Right.
With the limitation and advantages of Slide. So we didn't try to recreate the old way, we create a new way that was adapted to Slide. And it's beautiful, amazing.
True, yeah.
The results are great. Yes, we have less animation that we can use, but there is animation and we can still use them. So we find other ways to animate that are different, that use the big advantage of Slide, and we have great results.
What about the problem that many people have when they say you cannot upload a video into the presentation?
Well, that's awesome because you put a YouTube.
And you can use it as a hidden link.
Usually uploading a video means you find the video somewhere, usually on YouTube. Then you use KeepVid to transform it into a MP4. Then you put it on your computer. Then you sync it in Dropbox. Then you put it in the presentation. Then the presentation is so heavy that every time you make a new version, it's hell. So what you do is you delete the video and put a note saying, at the end of the presentation, when it's ready to present to the client, don't forget to put back the video. But that's not a comment. That's a written text that the client will see because it will be forgotten 20 minutes before the presentation. That's the reality of their job. Okay. So that's much better. We found the video on YouTube and we put the link and pa-pa. We don't look at what we miss, we look at what we earn.
What you have.
And what you earn is never something that you will plan. We didn't plan to have the earning of working faster. We planned of having the earning of not having to upload or download presentation and be up to date. That was a plan. But the reality, the big advantages of Slide is, and I'd like to take this example. We had someone calling sick and that happened. And we have a delivery to make to a client. And we need 4 days of manpower to do that.
Mm.
There's no way it will go less than that. If we were on Keynote, we call the client, we say, we need to postpone the appointment. It was a client that is difficult to move his appointments because he was very busy. So we said, we have a way. We put 8 people 2 hours and see what it gives. We had 8 people in the office working on the same presentation, coordinating, not in the same offices. 4 of them were there, some of them were helping from home, some from Bern. And the effect is amazing because we were ready before the meeting. So, and that's an unexpected win. And you should always think that there's in every tool, there's a DNA, there's a philosophy, and you will get all the beneficial of this philosophy.
If you look on all the stuff that we did together now, you have the collaboration set up with the Slack and Google and Trello and all that stuff. Now a new CRM database coming up. How did that help your business? Because it's all internal operations. That's what we focus on all the time.
Enigma has the big advantage to be more productive. We are.
How much more? Many people say, oh, we don't have time for doing the operations.
I think there is 2 parts, but those 2 parts are in the end the same. So if I talk now to entrepreneurs or business owners or people who do HR, I would just say we are more productive, we earn more money, we are then able to deploy bigger and to do bigger jobs. So that's cool with less people, okay? But there is something behind that is the second part that is much more important, is because of that, people come home earlier, can have a more fulfilling life, and can be more happy. And for example, I've got some employees, actually many, that are part-time because they have kids, and they are great, they are amazing. But what is very important for them is if their kid needs them, they have to be able to go back home and continue to work from home or work at another time. That's enabled by collaboration. We can work together and still our fulfilling life. And for me, that's the key.
Thanks for having me. Let's have a coffee now.